commercial project. What was the thinking behind it, and what's the outcome of it?
So, good afternoon, everyone. Look, I think the group DNA is on the real estate side, right? And with that in mind, whilst the group has its own specialized companies in residential and an office REIT, the Mindspace Business Parks, Chalet sits on a lot of land parcels themselves. Just to give you an example, we have 777 keys at the Powai Westin. We could have built another 700 rooms there with the FSI that we had. But it didn't make sense, having a 1,500 room hotel in one micro market. So I think from our side, it became sweating the real estate initiative. And this got, we got a focus on this in 2018 when we sat down, 3-4 of us, and we said, listen, how can we sweat the real estate assets that we have across our portfolio? So we went, we already had a mall in Bangalore connected to a hotel at that point of time. We built an office building next to it. Subsequently, the mall is shut down and added to the office buildings. We have a 1 million square foot of office connected to the hotel over there. Powai has 900 or 1,000 square foot ready, another 900,000 under development. At JW Sahar, we have 600,000 square foot of commercial real estate connected to the hotel again. But Vijay, it was about 2 or 3 things. One, how do we enhance the returns for the business as a whole? We were sitting on latent assets on the FSI and the land parcel side. We said, let's build complementary assets. Obviously, we couldn't do more hotel rooms because each of them is big boxes. But we said, listen, let's build complementary assets. And I say complementary with a very well thought out background to this. Office spaces tend to generate room night demand for hotels. If you're in the same compound, it's more or less captive. In Hyderabad, where the group has 14, 15 million square foot office space, and we have 2 hotels in the center of that complex, that 14 million today generates about 500 rooms a day of demand. Out of that, about 30% comes to our hotels. So about 150 rooms a day, additional demand comes from that office complex. We believe 1 million square foot will throw up about 31 rooms per day of additional demand. If you're very captive, you might even capture all of it if they are on the price points that you're targeting. But more importantly, the F&B opportunity is massive. When we are going to do 2 million square foot of office space in Powai, we're talking about 20,000 people. From Monday to Friday, 20,000 additional people coming into the space. Even if we capture just 1% of that as additional F&B covers, huge opportunity. I want to complete this with the final thing on the returns. Remember, the land came to us free for these office development. So the IRRs on the office assets are comfortably into the 20s by a very comfortable margin. Land is historical value, already accounted for in the hotel. We got a complementary asset complementing the hotel. We got the hotel brand giving a halo effect on the office asset. Therefore, we get the premium of 3-4% on the rental part. And we got a common team managing it. So the operating efficiency is also very high. So all of this put together has created a very compelling opportunity. This was in 2018 that we set up this strategy to diversify across the asset classes. There were other strategies on geographies, category of hotels that we want to be in and all of that. But this was one big shift that we did.
Yeah, and I think you've gained from the fact that you yourselves are in real estate, you own the real estate. The hotels own the real estate. As you said, the land cost was already zero as far as the commercial space is concerned. Not that the commercial space would not have made money even with the land cost, but you're in a much, much sweeter position there. So this is an opportunity for people who have the land bank or larger parcels to look at not just crowding it with a hotel. Often that crowding of a hotel or building of a hotel leads to inefficiency of space use. Optimize your space use between the hotel and other uses. I think that's one of the elements coming out of it. And certainly it's de-risking the company in a very big way because it's giving you assured rentals. Suma, I'll come to you next. In a sense, the point which Sanjay made that the hotel has a halo effect on the commercial space. And while you don't necessarily own most of your assets, you do some which have got into mixed use or will go into mixed use. But you have the brand that gives that halo effect. How have you used it as far as commercial is concerned, and the fact that you've gone into branded residentials?
Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. So, for us, we are primarily a hotel operating company. We also own hotels, and we have hotel brands across the entire segment of the market. Now, for us, when we look at mixed use and when we've been tracking the market, there are really two trends or two things that really has driven us into let's say real estate or looking at other aspects of mixed use as part of our hotel development. One is the changing lifestyle, and people are increasingly looking at luxury services in spaces that in their everyday living spaces. So we see that it's no longer luxury homes are just homes that are built well, but people want curated services on top of the homes that they own or that they would like to live in. That's number one. Number two is that when you're looking at building more hotels and expanding and growing in metro locations or in leisure locations, as land being an expensive component, what real estate really helps is to defray some of the costs of development, or helps the developer to get back their initial investment and de-risk to that extent, which is what is the need from the developer's point of view. So for us, when we are looking at these development, we see that there's a hotel which has the backbone and the support, can support the residential development. It could be apartments, branded apartments, or it could be villas in leisure locations. So you can provide that layer of luxury services which makes those residential developments much more attractive to the prospective buyer, and at the same time makes the entire project more financially viable or attractive to the developer. So our foray into, let's say, high-end luxury residences has been with this in mind, where you have a hotel and you get into residential. The other areas for us is we have our sister companies. While we don't develop commercial, we have Tata Realty that does commercial development, SEZs, office commercial, where we see that there is there is a synergy in, for all the reasons that he just mentioned, Sanjay just mentioned, that by putting a hotel, you are actually enhancing the value of the rest of the development, at the same time making the hotel project viable, because there is an entire captive demand within that development. So for us, we look at hotels as part of mixed use from both those aspects. Taking our hotels into a larger mixed use, whether it's through Tata Realty, or it could be any other developer looking at, creating an integrated development, or it could be hotel and hotel-related residential in the form of branded apartments, serviced apartments, or villas, second home development as part of resort.
And that's the best brand, best hotel brand in the world now, looking at moving into the residences piece. Do you think you will develop any of your own?
Well, yeah.
Maybe you're a listed company and you can't talk about it. That's all right. Okay. Raghu, I'll come to you. Part of the Embassy REIT, I guess this is more of the Embassy REIT than just Embassy, but it could also be within Embassy. You've got the Four Seasons residences in Bangalore, and then you've got, of course, the entire Manyata Tech Park. You've got the other tech park that's coming up. So you'll have had hotels in your tech park, you've got commercial spaces, retail, branded residences. What is that mix? How do you decide what is to be done?
So good afternoon, everyone. So Vijay, actually the customer decides, right? And what we try to create is an ecosystem. And today, if you more and more look at the ecosystem, people are looking for convenience. So we are actually a commercial REIT, but we create the ecosystem by placing a hotel, which is an amenity for all the occupiers of our office space. Then today, in today's date, the office are no longer looking just for a food court. If you're not providing them proper amenities like restaurants, variety of restaurants, you are not you don't have the competitive edge in the market.
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there, which means that on the flip side of it, there's a lot of opportunity for restaurants.
Absolutely, absolutely. Leave restaurants. Today there is demand for creating sports zones in our commercial spaces today. So if you're not creating sports zones, you don't have that edge on it. Coming to residences, of course, the Four Seasons and the Four Seasons residences, while the REIT doesn't own the residences, it's complementing business to each other. And how, we had our first mixed-use development with the hotel opening in 2014. We were ahead of our time. If you see most mature markets, most of the development is mixed-use development. And of course, the reasons is what Sanjay mentioned earlier. But in today's date, it's all about creating an ecosystem. And in our case, as a REIT, we say we're creating a total business ecosystem, which each business is complementing to each other. Of course, every business has to give the returns, but might have different sort of returns for each of them. But we believe that mixed use, and especially the scale, right? So if you look at us, our business is usually, what we develop is anything between 2 million to 15 million square feet. So when we are developing those large scale office parks or any sort of development, till we do not diversify ourselves, we do not feel we are able to unlock value, right, on its own. And I think so this trend is going to continue in the future.
And how important is the hotel to you as part of this entire planning?
Equally important, because right, it's a different P&L on it itself. While it rolls up to the REIT, the P&L itself has to stand up on its own, and it has to meet all the matrices for all returns. But again, it is different in different markets. A return in Pune versus a return in Bombay versus a return in Bangalore, in Manyata versus a return in Whitefield is very different, because office rentals are very different as well, right? So in certain locations where office rentals are lower, the return on hotel is much higher in today's date. So because the way rates have grown for hotels post-COVID, and if that trend continues, it is going to be pitched apple to apple, of course, as long as the only difference is the gestation period, right?
So we have limited time. I'm going to ask each of you 2 questions, and hopefully we can wrap it up in briefly. Sanjay, is this for everybody? The 2 questions are this: is this for everybody? And second is, what is the one big risk that people should be aware of that they should avoid?
So look, if you're a hotel company and you're looking at an alternate asset class, which is co-located with the hotel, I think it's for everybody. Why not? If you have the capacity to build more and you don't want to add more rooms, or the market can't take more rooms, you might as well sweat the real estate asset by building more. Is it the risk on it? Interesting question. So 2018, when we decided to do the alternate asset class route, that's going to be about 20% of our total portfolio, not very large. It was prompted by the investors coming and telling us that at that time, that we don't like the hotel space too much because there's cyclicality in the hospitality business, right? And we say, how do we counter the cyclicality? So our way of doing this was bringing in an annuity asset class, which gave us fixed income in a business which is primarily cyclical, and therefore, today with the 400, 500 crores of EBITDA a year being from next year onwards contributed by the office side, and growing at 20-25% every year from there onwards, we have de-risked chalet hotels for life from the cycles of hospitality.
You have, I mean, in a very broad sense of the term, chalet has become a REIT of sorts. So that's fantastic. I think it's a brilliant strategy, and it's something to be borne in mind as you do any corporate strategies going forward. Suma, when I say, is it for everyone, I'm going to ask you this question. is it for every brand positioning, or is it only at the luxury level? And then what is that one big risk?
So, as Sanjay said, yes, there is an opportunity at every level, okay? But it's not completely devoid of risks, because especially for hotel companies, when you're getting into a mixed use development, the single biggest thing is the rest of the development integrated in the sense of positioning? Are you sitting in a development on top of a retail that is mid-end with a luxury hotel, or a residential development which is premium but not luxury? So I think it is important to ensure that the entire development has a similar vision. Because you see a lot of developments where the developer wants to sell individual components. So there's commercial and they're selling smaller units and offices. So you kind of lose control over the development. Whereas if you're a luxury hotel sitting in that development, while they can be a positive rub-off, they could also be a negative rub-off in the longer run. So I think that is the single most risk that as a hotel brand you need to be careful. The same thing goes with residential. When you put your hotel brand on top of the residential complex, if it's a standalone residence, then you know the challenges of what will happen to the development once the RWA is formed, what are the regulations that will govern if there are challenges in the future. I think this country has not really seen the full cycle and the challenges, unlike say Dubai and all, where there are very strict legal regulations governing branded residences, whereas in India it is still, I would say, in the nascent stage. So for us, we would be very careful, because primarily we are a hospitality and hotel company, and when we put a Taj name on a development, there is an expectation of a certain level of service and maintenance of that product. We need to be sure that there is also enough capacity or capability or willingness to pay for those luxury services so that it is sustainable over a longer period of time. So I think these are the things we would see. But for us, let's say the other brands, whether Ginger or Gateway, definitely have an opportunity to, they have great potential to be as part of a mixed use development, because it's also helping, let's say, the real estate developer maximize his FSI usage, because after 2 or 3 floors, the FSI above is not of great value. So if you put in a Ginger hotel, then you are able to monetize your entire FAR that is available on that plot. And as said, where F&B is an important component for retail or for office, your hotel offers that. Especially a hotel like Ginger will have its cumin and quick service restaurant, more casual dining, which kind of goes well with the rest of the development. So the developer does not have to bring in so many more F&B options, right? So it's kind of complementing. So I think there is opportunity for every brand. We have to delve into greater depths and look at addressing the risks that are there to the brand itself.
Thank you. Raghu, same 2 questions to you. Sort of, is it for everyone, and what is the one big risk? Is this model more exclusive, or is it more wider?
So real estate in India is changing, right? There is a lot of institutional capital coming up into the country. Probably now we've got 150 million square feet of REIT. The larger private equities are pouring in money into the country. So I think more and more development is going to get institutionalized. With that, the risk versus reward would come in, and that's where the large-scale developments would come in, and that's where the mixed-use developments would come in as well. But again, like Suma or Sanjay made a point that you need to have the right brands attached to it, because you can devalue your mixed-use development by not having the right brands in it at this given point. So I think so that is absolutely key, and there are certain developers who want to do mixed-use development, but then they start getting into strata scale, then you can't control what's coming in there. So I think so that's one bit which I would say people should keep in mind. But this is here to stay. It's worked very well, and if you go to Singapore, Hong Kong, Dubai, anywhere in the world, hotels are today 70-80% mixed-use development, and I think so this is here to stay. Risk-wise, as long as on the hotel side, I'll put it that way, if the current supply demand continues to grow, I don't see any risk at this given point.
Okay. So in that sense, I think the panel is sort of pretty much of the view that this model has potential, has great potential, provided it's done with care. And risk factors, of course, are typical project, but also sort of, the balance aspect of whether it's the brand and the product or the quantum of product, all of that. I'm going to end by just putting in one word from my side. A lot of people are looking at branded residences, selling it, rental pool, lease, all of that. Please understand, the rental pooling model or the lease based on revenue share model has got lots of complications. It's fraught with a lot of risk. You have different kinds of owners. If you see any of the cooperative societies in Bombay or the condominium associations, RWAs, there is a lot of wrangling that goes on. And all of that is going to affect the structure and the operation of that. And if it goes awry, then it can affect continued branding. Indians are not necessarily so disciplined in terms of the benefit uses. Ultimately, they'll say, oh, we are the owners. So bear in mind, it's not a cakewalk. It's going to have its challenges. So don't think it's just a simple, ready-made model that can be implemented very easily. I think I'd like to end with that, and thank you to the panel for your time and for your views once again.
Thank you.
So now may I invite Mr. Nirav Gandhi, Senior Vice President, HRAWI, to felicitate our moderator and speakers. A huge round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone. So now I would request Manino Proenka, sir, Director of Resort Mariana Dorada, Goa, to please come on the stage for the lucky draw. So the first lucky draw winner is Krishna Kini. Is he here? Krishna Kini. Okay, so you can collect your... No, not here. Later on, you can collect it from Eagle Fogix stall, piche ki side. So you can go and collect it. Okay, so time for the next lucky winner. So next lucky draw winner is Harshal Azhar. Harshal Azhar. Okay, so you can also go and collect it later on. So time for the third lucky draw winner. The third lucky draw winner is Mihir Sarkar. So you can go and collect. Congratulations, you are really happy. So the last lucky draw winner is Riddhi Kapoor Sangvi. So you can collect. You need to go to Vanjara Carpets. You need to collect your vouchers from Vanjara Carpets. Okay, you of 4. Okay. So now can we please have the video of Ingram Micro? Video, please.
We are Ingram Micro, the business behind the world's brands. We reach nearly 90% of the world's population, shipping 1.25 billion plus units per year. We are a leader in technology distribution. Our vast global infrastructure enables business partners to operate more efficiently and successfully by providing highly targeted solutions and services for industry verticals, business-to-business customers, and commercial needs. With a global reach that spans continents, we focus on scale, expertise, and innovation, helping over 1,600 plus vendors, 160,000 plus customers across 61 plus countries, making $50.8 billion net sales. We are the leading technology distributor in India, operating since 1996. We work with 2,600 plus qualified associates in 40 plus offices and 25 plus warehouses, serving 17,200 plus PIN codes across the nation, all while pushing the boundaries of innovation to build your competency. With 40 plus years of growth and innovation, we are a full solutions provider offering varied services. Our team of experts solve complex problems with advanced solutions and aids to consumer and commercial needs. Mobility solution products that enable mobile computing and productivity. As a premium cloud services partner, we provide 200 plus cloud services and manage 30 million plus software seats. Our other products and services include financial solutions, professional services, IT asset disposition, and lifecycle services. We provide solutions focused on verticals like healthcare, IoT, telecom, ISPs, and hospitality. Xvantage is Ingram Micro's digital twin, bringing business at partners' fingertips, helping them intuitively learn, partner, build, buy, and manage their business from one platform. Our environmental initiatives like electricity conservation, installation of solar panels, usage of EVs, zero use of plastic, saving of paper, all bring us closer to a greener future. To add to the impact, our IT asset disposition services focus on the reuse and recycling of IT assets and electronic products, saving over 1.93 billion kilowatt hour of energy or 334,438 MT CO2e. We proudly maintain the highest standards of corporate governance, ethics and compliance. With employee resource groups like Shiro, Youngistan, Mom's Magic and such that caters to our employees and their different experiences as freshers, parents, women, mothers and retirees. The road ahead for us is getting ready for the digital era by transforming and evolving from a traditional distribution company to a platform company. Our partners never have a day without us. We are Ingram Micro.
A huge round of applause. So before lunch, I'd like to announce a parallel lunch-on session to be held at Spectra lobby level. Those who have shared the RSVP for this session are requested to go to Spectra at lobby level to attend this lunch-on session. And this presentation will be given by Mr. Rajesh Chopra, head of the hospitality business vertical Ingram Micro India, on enhancing cybersecurity and productivity through AI in hospitality. So our networking lunch is sponsored by Munzer, a subsidiary of Munzer. Munzer Bharat focus on turning waste into sustainable energy, starting with used cooking oil, UCO. The company operates in over 25 cities in India, committed to a cleaner environment and healthier communities. Can we please have the video? So meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, the lunch has been served now, so you can go and have your lunch, and we'll start with the third session after the lunch.
Those who are interested to attend AI and robotics session can go to Spectra. It's at the lobby level. The speaker is Mr. Rajesh Chopra. He's from Ingram Micro. Kindly proceed for the same if you are interested to attend this session. It's a lunch-on session basically. Thank you.
Years ago, we hit the fast forward button and boldly forayed into the FMCG game. From tea and salt to snacking, hydration, breakfast and beyond, we became the new age FMCG face of the Tata Group. and this is our journey. 2020, the year of transformation. Tata Global Beverages evolved into Tata Consumer Products. Tea met salt. We acquired 100% of NourishCo and For Better became our way forward. We scaled fast. Soulful joined the journey. Starbucks soared to new heights. We laid the groundwork, built a solid distribution base, started crafting a robust digital backbone, established a foundation strong enough to propel us into the future. We became a giant distribution engine from 8% of our India portfolio and